I mean, it's a great conspiracy. I mean, there are some good conspiracies in here. You say that the...
There's no conspiracies in there.
I mean, people
excuse
love
me.
to talk
Every
about...
document in there is in the public, and it's not a conspiracy. That's their documents. I mean, Condoleezza Rice sits out there. The memo, well, there's more than that. They didn't even look at NSA. They knew 4 to 6 months before it happened that there was intel to that level. And Condoleezza Rice sits out there and said, we had no idea they were going to fly planes into buildings. Excuse me, the memo said it. August 6th, you can't read? You know, and there are so many questions that I have. They can debunk me, but just answer my questions. Nobody answers your questions. You're not allowed to talk about 9/11, let alone question it. And now, of course, if you want to get modern, we're going to have this trial. Well, what these?
You're talking about the trial of Sheikh Mohammed.
Military tribunal. They're not military. Why are they being tried by the military? That was a murder that took place in New York.
That's right, but
it would be the equivalent of trying the Hells Angels.
Republicans did not allow that. I mean, even people who supported Obama, like Senator Schumer, said this trial cannot take place in New York City.
Why?
So they really didn't have an option here.
Why?
Well, there are safety concerns about it.
I mean, there was a ton of reasons why.
Well, so you're satisfied with the military tribunal, which is different than a regular trial. It'll be done behind closed doors, so we'll never hear the evidence except what they want to tell us. And they'll just simply execute these guys and say, okay, we did our job.
What is the alternative? What
How
do you
about
want
this?
To happen?
Let me sit on the tribunal. I'll volunteer. I want to hear the evidence. I want to hear evidence.
The admitted mastermind of 9/11. I mean, they're going to
wait a minute. Admitted.
They may plead guilty.
Excuse me. They were waterboarded 173 times. I've been waterboarded. In SEER school as a Navy SEAL. It is torture. I'll tell you this. Any one of you were waterboarded, you'd confess to it too. Because that's why they don't allow torture by the police. Because any torture is inadmissible in court. Because when you're being tortured, you will say whatever is required to stop the torture. And we are now a country who tortures.
It's enhanced interrogation.
Because Dick Cheney makes up a new word?
No, but the CIA told him that word.
That's
say, we need to get Sheikh Mohammed
It's torture, my friend. And I've had it done. Have you been waterboarded?
What? Do you want me to?
Have you been waterboarded? Yeah, get waterboarded, and then we'll ask you. Let me waterboard you.
I'm not blowing up America. I'm not trying to destroy this country. I'm not trying to fight against democracy everywhere we go. These people
Neither are they.
These are the people that cut off Danny Pearl's head, and you're worried about their welfare.
No, I'm not worried about their welfare. I'm worried about what our country stands for.
Are you afraid of getting them radical?
I'm worried about what this our country. Well, where's it going to end?
We have to end
Where is it going to end?
When they're dead.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, how
when
come
Al-Qaeda loses, when they decided their philosophy.
Have you enlisted, or are you just talking?
No, am I just talking? You want me to enlist?
Yeah.
You don't like our armed forces?
Go walk the walk. Don't talk the talk.
So wait a second.
Let me a coward. Because I'm not you calling me a coward. Young man, I've done things that would make the hair on the back of your neck stand up.
By what?
You cannot insult me into thinking you're going to get something out of me by calling me a coward.
Well, suggesting
my track record, nobody goes through buds and is a coward.
George Bush inherited a recession. George Bush inherited the negative.
No, he
Let
did
me finish.
Not.
Yes, he. Oh, yes, he did.
Wait a minute.
Oh, yes, he did. And the negative impact of 9/11.
All right. You're telling me that the United States was better off after George Bush or before him?
After.
Oh, my God. How can you make that statement?
I just did. And I'll tell you why.
Well, I don't even need to talk to you about it.
Listen, it's not about Republicans.
It's ridiculous.
The fact is that
like Ralph Nader said, we're a two-party dictatorship.
But, you know, Jesse, I understand you spend about half you once told me you spent about half your time in Mexico. I even heard, by the way, is it true that you're thinking of becoming a Mexican citizen?
Yeah, but I'm not giving up my U.S. citizenship.
Okay, so you have dual citizenship.
No.
Because I know Mexico, I do know Mexico pretty well. I didn't live there as you did, but I spent 12 years covering it for the Journal. So, and that, talk about a country that is festooned with laws from one end of the border. Their constitution, by the way, was started in the 1920s. It's a lot younger than ours, but they already have over 1,000 amendments to their constitution.
Well,
in other words, they have so many laws there that nobody adheres to any single one of them.
Well, pretty much. I never see any problem with government. That's why I'm down there. Government leaves me alone. But let me explain something. They actually do a lot of stuff better than we do. It's embarrassing.
Like, for example?
First of all, their president serves 1 6-year term.
Right.
I wish we would switch to that. Another thing, our property taxes, we penalize good behavior and reward bad. Case in point, if you buy a home and fix it up, how are you rewarded? You pay more. Well, you know how it works in Mexico? Your property taxes are due in March. If you pay them in January...
Jesse, look,
wait, let me finish.
Okay, quickly.
All right, if you pay them in January, they knock off 20%. Right. If you pay them in February, they knock off 10%.
But Jesse,
March is normal, better than us.
I get you, Jesse, but my point is that there is a sense of lawlessness. Because they have so many laws, and because the people don't give a damn about the laws, because they don't adhere to them.
There's no one there to enforce them.
Oh, come on, Jesse. There certainly is, and they
where
are mostly
I live,
corrupt.
I don't see it.
Maybe not where you live. You live in
there?
Baja, California, but if you live in Mexico City, if you live in Monterrey, if you live in San Miguel de Allende, one of the big places down there, you're going to have to deal with a lot of corrupt officials who at any moment could accuse you of something, and the only way you can get out of it is by paying a little more detail, a little bribe.
Gee, it sounds like the United States today.
Well, in the United States, they don't call them bribes. They call them tax assessments or extra charge for this or extra charge. My point is that to a certain extent,
violate our Constitution.
Hold on. Jesse, there is a difference. We do have a sense of rule of law here, and I admit it is being squashed over the past few years, but we do have a rule of law here that they do not have in Mexico.
And that's why I like being down there, more freedom.
Well, freedom if you can pay for it. If you can't pay for it, you can end up in a lot of trouble.
Nobody bothers me.
Well, I wouldn't if I was down there either.
In a free country, when telling the truth, you can get charged for treason, we're in big trouble.
Even if you've stolen the information?
The stolen information. Excuse me. We all pay taxes. All that information is paid for by my tax dollars. On my TV show this year, Conspiracy Theories, we had a confession. To the murder of John.
We had a confession. The whole truth about what happened to John Kennedy.
But we had a confession. E. Howard Hunt confessed to his son, St. John Hunt, on his deathbed. He said it was called The Big Event. He was on the fringes of it. He named who it was. It was William Harvey, who at that time was head of the CIA's assassination team, and David Sanchez Morales. And he is also famous for something else. You know what? He killed Che Guevara in Bolivia in 1967, where they put Che against the wall and executed him. And Sanchez used to wear Guevara's Rolex for a trophy.
People are eating their Cheerios this morning and they're going, Jesse Ventura. Boy, that's not what we learn in history, and that's not what mainstream America believes. And what does it matter today? I mean, obviously it matters, but what does it matter today? I mean, we're moving on.
What does it matter today? Because if you can kill our president and get away with it, then what can't you do? I challenge you with that. Donald Trump is now a Republican. Therefore, you have to embrace the Republican Party.
But the whole Republican Party came out against him.
Wait a minute, Alex. Look who he picked to run with him.
That's a good point.
The most solid Republican you could possibly pick of the in-crowd, Pence.
I don't know if he's like a rhino, that'd be Paul Ryan, I think would be the biggest in-crowd guy.
Well, Pence is right there with him. He's just a governor. That's the difference. Ryan's on the national scale. Pence is at the state level. Pence is as far right as you can get. He's another one of these guys that wants to, he's opposed.
Well, let me ask you this then. Why is the establishment...
all these social issues. He's a typical Republican that wants to be in your bedroom.
But then Trump comes out and says we need to, have equal rights for gays and lesbians in his main speech. So that's Trump.
Well, again, like I said, he still embraced the Republican.
But even the Washington Post said, Hillary
Sanders is not an independent. Bernie Sanders is a Democrat. So you got the Democrats and Republicans deciding who gets to debate.
No, that's why I brought it up. I mean,
that's the proverbial fox in the hen house.
Yes, but I agree with you. But look at how the Republican Party pulled out all the stops and tried to steal the nomination from Trump. He fought back. They failed. I see it more as an insurrection, a populist movement taking over the Republicans, at least until he brought Pence in. That was just to stop the Republicans from trying to totally overthrow him. But I get your point. He does a lot of great things and then does some bad things. But look at how the big money's giving him no money. We've never seen this in 50, 60 years, the Republican nominee getting no money from big interest. That is a big plus for Donald Trump. I mean, come on, Governor Ventura, give it to him.
Well, certainly that's a plus for him. But I noticed that he's still going to big popular Republican fundraisers, though, isn't he?
Well, he's going like to the $5,000 a plate.
Wait, I don't buy for an instant he's not getting supported by Republican money.
He's not getting the Koch brothers. He's not getting the big super PACs.
Why would he be going to
no big pharma
if he wasn't getting money?
I mean, he's flying into places like Austin and Dallas and stuff, and it's $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a plate. That's not establishment people. That's pretty grassroots. He's not getting any big pharma, any big Wall Street.
Some of this stuff isn't grassroots either.
A lot of it is. The point is that the power structure is giving most of this money to Hillary. But
Alex, you and I will beg to differ. You can vote for Trump. I'll vote for Gary Johnson.
I'll say this, 800-259-9231, 800-259-9231. Quick questions for former Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura.
We cover a few different things on 9/11. This isn't conspiracy stuff. We also cover the wait.
Our people need to know, are you saying that planes didn't fly into the building, or that our government knew they were going to fly into the building?
They either knew, they either participated, or the biggest buffoons that ever ran our country. It's one or the other.
Well, why is it that no one ever thought of storming a cockpit with a box cutter and threatening a pilot? I mean, just no one that had ever done that before. Is that outlandish?
Well, let's go to document 47, where the government talks about Building 7 and admits it went down in free fall. Well, free fall means it was demoed. That's just another word because it defies physics. The only way a building can fall in free fall is to remove all resistance.
Governor, I was there.
And so therefore, all resistance
I watched the plane fly into the building. The second plane.
No, Building 7 didn't have a plane.
Allow me to finish. I watched the buildings burn for 104 minutes. I watched them come down, Governor, and I waited, and we waited, and everyone wanted to know what was going to happen with Building 7. Everyone down there, we were all down there wondering, is 7 coming down? There was a rumor that the Brooks Brothers building was going to come down too. If you know anything about the World Trade Center, underneath the World Trade Center was cavernous. It was a mall. You could walk literally between all the buildings. So when the pile came down, it took the structural integrity out of the bottom of 7 and Brooks Brothers and the other one. It escapes me right now.
It still wouldn't fall free fall. Because that defies physics. Free fall means it's like it fell as fast as me jumping out of an airplane before I pull my chute.
Of course,
no
you would
resistance.
fall the same rate as a bowling ball out of the airplane or a hockey out of the airplane.
Then you're arguing against physics, my friend, and you can't do it.
Listen, I've heard you say that you think that there's no chance for steel to melt with jet fuel because it's so close to kerosene's burning.
It takes 3,000 degrees to turn steel into liquid. 3,000.
To melt it, but you don't have to turn it into it doesn't have to turn
it's called a false flag operation.
Fall.
Just like the Gulf of Tonkin incident, when they told us we were attacked and they put us into the Vietnam War, and lo and behold, it was a lie. It never happened.
What's the theory, Governor?
Why would the government is a theory?
Why would George Bush allow
go ask them
3,000 people to die?
Go ask them.
Well, why would they allow?
Why would they allow 58,000 of us to die in Vietnam?
I'm not asking you. I'm asking about this incident.
Oh, you don't want to talk about other
No, I don't.
Other
because
false
this
flaggers.
is about 9/11, which I'm very near and dear to, very close. So I lost a lot of friends there. Really? I want to know why you think my government would allow something like that to happen. Have policemen, firemen, traders, moms, dads, Muslims. Why would they allow that to happen? For what reason? What's the motive?
Money.
I need more than money. Give me more. What do you mean money?
Wars. All wars, almost every war has started with a false flag operation. Look at history, read it, or you're doomed to repeat it.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Where's Obama on this? He's leaving Gitmo open.
Yeah, I'm angry. The trial should be open so I can have my questions answered, and then I can agree with you.
So is Obama in on this conspiracy, too?
No, come on.
Well, I want to know.
You guys this book is based on government documents. That's what's in this book.
My question is this,
No. Let's talk about my book. These are all government documents that we have discovered. We have printed them as a whole. The people can read the book, read the documents, and come to their own conclusion. And it covers a whole lot more than just 9/11.
Are they secret documents?
No, they're all in the public forum.
So they're not. What are they hiding then? You're compiling them.
Yeah, because you guys won't. Do you ever bring up? See, that's how come the mainstream media won't touch any of this.
I don't believe you believe that. You don't honestly think Dick Cheney knew it was going to happen. You can't do.
Do you really believe,
rational.
Piers? It's not irrational.
I said it's not rational.
Excuse me. Do you really believe that evil people can't be in charge of governments? If you do, go talk to the Germans. They know a little about that evil people can get in charge. The governments are run by people. People can be bad.
So Dick Cheney is involved, Ashcroft's involved, all these people got together and planned 9. Come on, it's madness.
Oh, that's madness. But you'll fully accept that 19 Islamic radicals armed with box cutters taking orders from a guy in a cave in Afghanistan could defeat our multi-billion-dollar air defense system, which the Russians couldn't do.
Jesse, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened.
Really?
Unfortunately, they exposed a massive flaw in Homeland Security.
And what was it?
The flaw was that these guys had been training and often aiming to go one way, aiming to land planes in a certain manner. In fact, not even land them. Wanted to take off but not land. All these were clues that this was a weird set of circumstances. I'm afraid that's exactly what happened. And the trouble with being a conspiracy theorist, I've got great respect for you, and your book's very readable. The problem is, once you start buying into these theories, you never stop. And with the internet these days, there's a theory about everything.
Yeah.
Do you believe Princess Diana was murdered?
No, I don't look into that.
Well, what do you think?
I don't know. I haven't studied it.
Isn't the tendency of a conspiracy theory it breeds other conspiracies?
No. I only go into things I study. I've studied 9/11 for 3.5 years now. And it's my expert opinion. As a demolition expert, I was trained by the best the U.S. government has. I served 3 years on Underwater Demolition Team 12. 2 years I was attached to SEAL Team 1. And when I look at the buildings and how they fall and the way they fell, they couldn't have come down without being assisted in some manner. And then I counter...
You don't believe when two large planes hit the World Trade Center, hit both towers, and they explode, that couldn't bring down 2 buildings?
No.
And that the debris couldn't bring down a 3rd building?
The Empire State Building was hit by a plane and it didn't collapse.
It was a tiny plane that hit the Empire State Building.
No, it wasn't.
Yes,
Not
it
that
was.
tiny. Well, the World Trade Center buildings were tested against Boeing 707s, which are bigger than the planes that hit.
Well,
and the way it was designed, if it was punctured, it was like a screen door. It would cause damage right where the hit was, but this uniform collapse. And then when you look at the powder, if it collapsed, it would collapse in big chunks.
Jesse,
Then I was at the site 2 weeks after it happened with Governor Pataki, right? And they had to cease digging that day. You know why? They were finding pockets of molten liquid metal underneath. Now, if everything took place, Piers, 150 floors up, why was there molten metal underneath?
You looked at my reading list. Have you read the 9/11 report, and you think it's a piece of fiction?
No, I believe everything in it. I believe my government's never lied to me, have they? Let's see, where should we start? The Gulf of Tonkin incident? Now, that took us into war in Vietnam. They've now admitted it was a lie. So 58,000 of my generation were killed based upon a lie. But that doesn't count, does it?
What does that have to do with 9/11?
That shows that we will lie to go to war. We've been doing it for years. We will continue to do it. The Gulf of Tonkin incident, did you believe that? Well, you probably weren't alive then.
I apologize for not being alive then.
Well,
it won't happen again.
Well, I was alive.
Okay.
But and I remember our president sitting on TV telling us our boys are floating in the water.
And because of that, you'll never believe anything.
False.
And because of that, you'll never believe anything.
But they lie all the time. Have you been in government? No, I have.